You mentioned Steve Carell. Um, I guess he can. I guess it's looking good for him. Perhaps it's not great news that John Galecki is nominated as well and can give Jim Parsons an extra bit of help.
Yeah, I need to look at the description again. I've seen all of the episodes from the season. Johnny's episode that he's already let us know about, unless he changes his mind, is the one with Jessica Walter called the Benefactor Factor,
Yep.
where she comes on to him and she's a benefactor at the school, and he has, it's very, very funny for him. I don't remember Jim having a whole lot in that one, but I may be wrong. I need to go back and look at it.
Yep.
So that sometimes you think somebody's going to get a whole lot of extra play, and then depending on the episode choice, maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Yeah. At the very
Um,
beginning of the very beginning of the chat, I did see a comment in the chat room, and I thought, oh, I'll talk about this with Chris because I know you watch the show. Someone asked if Julie Bowen could win supporting actress in a comedy series. Do you think that they could do that? She could do that.
oh, absolutely. I don't think we're going to need to see the episode titles, but I don't think anybody in that six in that particular category is ruled out. Maybe Kristen Wiig, depending on what she chooses, because they have to submit the whole episode, and nobody on SNL is going to be on every single sketch. So there's
Yeah.
periods of time where she's gone. Plus, the voter has to sit through 90 minutes minus commercials rather than 22 minutes. So maybe she doesn't have a chance, but Jane has a chance. Julie, Jane Krakowski, of course,
Yeah.
Betty White. Sofia Vergara is very funny on that show. So that's
Yeah.
one where I really want to see the episodes, and it'll be a little bit of strategy for Sophia and Julie, especially because they need to make sure that they don't showcase the other lady too well.
Yeah.
And one question you just asked about Steve Carell, maybe as people are typing here, I
Yeah.
would just like to see, which one gets the most votes in the next 3 or 4
Yeah.
minutes. But everybody seems to think his choices are narrowed down to either Garage Sale, where he proposes to Holly, or Goodbye Michael, the longer episode, where he actually leaves. Which do the people in the chat room right now feel would be better for Steve? And we'll definitely let his
Yeah.
people know. Not that they care necessarily, but we'll at least let them know what the majority of people think.
Yeah.
My
I'd like
personal,
to.
I
Yeah.
can see it both ways. I'm basically 50-50.
Yeah. I think there's also a third option in threat level Midnight, which is much more broad comedy. We always talk about Alec Baldwin always winning for playing multiple characters. I don't think that's the way for him to go, but that's definitely an option that gives something different.
Yeah, when it aired, I thought, of course, we didn't know what was coming later,
Yeah.
but I just thought, wow, he's got a great episode here to submit.
Yeah.
When I watched the reactions in the forums, though, that week after that episode aired, some people really liked it, some people didn't like it, some
Yeah.
people were bugged by it a little bit, aggravated. I would hate to be a voter. I would hate to submit it to a whole panel of voters, 50,
Yeah.
60 people. If only a handful of them, if it aggravated them more than made them
Yeah.
laugh, then
Yeah.
he's got an uphill battle.
Yeah, that would be a risky move. We're having, I think, Goodbye Michael. He should submit his final episode. I don't think so. Goodbye Michael, Goodbye Michael, Goodbye Michael, GM, Goodbye Michael, Goodbye Michael as the nostalgia factor.
It's
Goodbye
unanimous,
Michael.
yeah.
Yeah, unanimous from Fair Willad. So look, I can't see it. Does anyone in the chat room think Garage Sale's the go? Yeah,
Well,
it looks.
final episodes have won for people. All across the years, but I can think of some just from recent years with Michael J. Fox on Spin City. He submitted his finale, and Sarah Jessica Parker submitted half of her finale. So it's definitely worked for certain people. Of course, other people it hasn't worked for. So
Martin Sheen.
Yeah, Martin Sheen. That's a good.
Yeah. But
I know that was one of your favorites, so that had to hurt.
That's my biggest Emmy gripe that he never won. But anyway, that's very Old Testament. But yeah, so yeah, I can't see anyone. I can't see anyone going for garage sale there. I might be missing someone. Sorry if I am, but yeah. So it looks like I would probably go with Goodbye Michael as well. That that probably the proposal seems really good, but I think as far as a whole episode, Goodbye Michael might be better. But like you, either one is could definitely put him up on.
If I had to guess, that would be my guess that he would want to do as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. No, so that's good. Anything else? Anything else have any? What else? What are your final thoughts, Chris?
I think it's going to be a fun ceremony. I think there's a lot of newcomers. There's people that have never been nominated before that get their first chance. Some have been working in TV for many, many years, so that's always great to see. I love that. If I was Mark Burnett, who's producing the Emmys, I would invite in a heartbeat Bryan Cranston and Kira Sedgwick to present those two categories, since they won last year and they're not going to be competing this year. Possibly even Aaron Paul as well in his category. So, those kind of things I would love to see on the show, and I think it'll be a fun show.
Yeah, we just have one last question from Bobbert Polson for you. Who's in the lead for supporting actor in a drama?
Let me look back at the list. Let me see here real quick.
There's definitely some. This looks quite strong compared to perhaps some directions this category could have gone in.
Right. Wow, it is. See, we know what a couple of people are submitting. We don't know what a lot of them are submitting. I think it's too early to say. My initial reaction all the last few weeks has been that John Slattery had never had a better season than he had this past year. And we know he's submitting the episode called Hands and Knees, where he loses his biggest account that's been carrying the firm all these years, the cigarette company, and finds out that Joan is pregnant, all in the same episode.
Yeah.
It was like one of the last episodes of the season. And so until I see what the other ones say, I would say he's the front runner for now.
Yeah, and the chat room seems a bit divided. We've got Dinklage, hopefully, agreed, or Goggins, Cumming versus Slattery. Don't watch Justified, probably should. Old Slattery, done. Versus Dinklage versus Goggins. So we
don't know what Goggins has chosen, but boy, he's got some good stuff. He would be, and he's got some residual goodwill off all the Shield years, and so that ought to be interesting. That ought to be an interesting category to watch.
Yeah, just last question. We'll do one more. Force of habit. It will be Polar versus Linny, right?
I think so. I hope it's Amy Poehler. We know she's submitting Flu Season, which is very funny. Laura Linney is submitting the pilot episode. The interesting thing about Laura Linney, she's never lost an Emmy, first of all, in 3 tries, but neither one of them got nominated for the SAG Award this year. So it's really hard to tell in this category. Maybe a Tina Fey jumps back in and wins again.
Yeah.
She's certainly some good material. Maybe Edie Falco, she was last year's winner. Maybe she wins again. We think Martha Plimpton's episode is very, she's got it narrowed down to 2, and she's very funny. So it's been, what do we say, 10 different ladies in a row. So that probably doesn't help out Tina Fey or Edie Falco. So I would say I'm going to go with my heart on this one and say Amy Poehler might win this category. I'll make a decision later in the summer.
Parks and Recreation has a lot more momentum than the Big C does right now, which I think is also going to help Amy.
Yeah, it really will. I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris, that was great. Great to chat with you. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. This was fun. I like doing these with all the questions coming in.
There we go, guys. That's pretty much all the coverage we have for today. A very good job. You've all stayed on for an hour, 20 minutes. So really solid effort, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks to everyone in the chat room who contributed. Great job. Okay.